I never thought my life would turn upside down in the way it did, nor did I imagine that something so simple could unravel the truth I wasn't prepared to face. My name is Rebecca, and for years I believed that my marriage to Michael was unshakable. We had been together for over a decade, raising our little family in a modest home in suburban Ohio. Michael was dependable, hard-working, and the kind of man I thought I could trust with my whole life. We had always talked about opening our home to children in need, and when the foster agency finally matched us with a boy named Jason, I thought we were doing something beautiful, something that would strengthen us as a family. Jason was 16 when he first came to us. He had been through a lot in his short life, and you could see the weight he carried in his eyes. He was polite but guarded, and at first, I wasn't sure if he would ever truly open up. Michael seemed to take to him quickly, encouraging him to join in weekend activities like basketball or fishing trips. I thought it was wonderful that Jason was warming up, slowly but surely, and that he might finally feel like he belonged somewhere. I had no idea that hidden beneath those moments of laughter and bonding was a storm that would rip my world apart. It started with something small, almost unnoticeable. I was cleaning up in Jason's room one afternoon, something I normally didn't do since I wanted to respect his space. But he had left dirty clothes piled up, and I didn't want things to get out of hand. As I picked up a stack of laundry, my eyes landed on a slip of paper sticking out from under his notebook. At first, I thought it was just a doodle or homework, but curiosity got the better of me. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. What I saw made my stomach twist. It was a handwritten note, words scribbled in messy ink. "I wish you wouldn't look at me like that. It makes me feel guilty." My heart began to race as I flipped the page over and saw more. "We shouldn't keep this between us, but I don't want to lose everything." I froze, my hands trembling. Who was this note about? Was Jason writing about someone from school? Or was this something darker? I shoved the paper back where I found it, my mind spinning. That evening, I couldn't stop glancing at Michael and Jason during dinner. Jason wouldn't meet my eyes, and Michael acted as if everything was normal. I tried to push down the unease, telling myself I was overthinking. But deep down, something inside me whispered that my perfect marriage wasn't so perfect after all. A week later, my suspicions grew stronger. I came home early from work one day, expecting to find the house quiet. Instead, I heard voices coming from the living room. I crept closer, careful not to make a sound. Michael's voice was low but intense, the kind of tone he used when he was trying to comfort someone. "You can't tell her," he said softly. "She wouldn't understand. This has to stay between us." My breath caught in my throat. Jason replied, his voice trembling, "But I feel bad, Michael. She's so kind to me. It's like I'm betraying her every day." My knees nearly buckled. What were they hiding? I couldn't just walk in and confront them without proof, but every word felt like a dagger in my chest. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling while Michael slept soundly beside me. My mind replayed their conversation over and over. What secret could possibly bind them so tightly that they were willing to keep it from me? My instincts screamed that it was infidelity, though the thought made me sick. I needed answers, but I wasn't ready to face the truth head-on. Instead, I began watching more closely, noticing little details I had once ignored. Michael started working later than usual, and Jason often disappeared around the same time. When they came home, they avoided me, making excuses about errands or sports practice. The more I saw, the clearer it became, I was being lied to. The breaking point came one rainy evening. I had been cooking dinner when my phone buzzed with a message from my friend Laura. She lived across town but happened to be near our local coffee shop. Her text made my blood run cold. "Becca, I don't want to alarm you, but I just saw Michael here. He wasn't alone, Jason was with him. They looked close. Too close." My hands shook so badly I nearly dropped the phone. Without thinking, I grabbed my car keys and drove straight to the cafe. Sure enough, through the rain-speckled window, I saw them. Michael leaned in toward Jason, speaking in hushed tones, his hand briefly brushing Jason's arm in a way that felt far too intimate for a father figure. Jason looked conflicted, his eyes darting around nervously. My chest ached as I stood there in the pouring rain, watching the betrayal unfold before my very eyes. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I stormed into the cafe, my voice shaking as I called out, "Michael, what is going on here?" Both of them froze, their faces draining of color. Jason's eyes filled with panic while Michael struggled to form words. "Rebecca, it's not what you think," he stammered, but the damage was already done. The entire cafe seemed to go silent as my world shattered in front of strangers. The ride home was filled with silence, broken only by the sound of rain hitting the car. Jason sat in the backseat, staring out the window with tears streaming down his face, while Michael gripped the steering wheel like it was the only thing keeping him grounded. When we got home, I demanded the truth. Michael finally confessed, his voice low and heavy with shame. He admitted that he had crossed boundaries with Jason, that what started as comfort and guidance had slipped into something it never should have been. My hands shook as he spoke, anger and heartbreak colliding inside me. I couldn't believe the man I trusted had betrayed not only me but also the vulnerable boy we were supposed to protect. That night, I made the hardest call of my life. I contacted the foster agency and reported everything. Jason was immediately moved into a safer environment, away from the chaos and betrayal that had unfolded in our home. I cried for days, not just for myself but for Jason, who had been dragged into something he never should have experienced. Michael's actions destroyed the family we had built, and there was no going back. In the months that followed, I filed for divorce. My friends and family rallied around me, reminding me that I had done the right thing, but the scars remained. The hardest part was accepting that the man I once loved had hidden a darkness I never saw coming. Jason reached out months later through the agency, sending me a letter. In it, he thanked me for being the only one who fought for him, the only one who chose to protect him instead of looking the other way. His words brought me a bittersweet comfort, knowing that even in the midst of betrayal, I had done something right. Now, years later, I tell my story not for sympathy but as a warning. Infidelity doesn't always come in the form we expect. Sometimes it hides in the shadows of trust, breaking through when we least anticipate it. I never expected to see my foster son caught up in my husband's betrayal, but I did. And though it broke me, it also forced me to rebuild a stronger, wiser version of myself, one who will never again ignore the signs.